Welcome back to Ho'ikaika, folks. And man, today's special guest, I have. It's really cool to have him on the show, man. This guy, I've known him for a while since college. He's the brother of Sam Fonoimoana, who I had on the show earlier. And Pops was in Hawaii for a while. Now he's back in Utah, and he's got to go through some challenges right now. But the guy has been able to be so positive and active, regardless of all these things that he's going through. And just a super big time example for everybody. And so finally I was able to get him on the show. I thought, man, we got to get Pops on the show somehow. So I'm grateful for you, man, for being able to be on here. The guy is a stellar musician. He's an IT geek like me, computer geek like me. He's been very active in the Polynesian community and doing a whole bunch of stuff. And it's just been a pleasure to have him on the show right now. So I'm going to be quiet and introduce all of you folks to my man, Opapo Fonoimoana. Pops.
Oh, man. Thank you. Thank you, Gavon. Thank you for having me on the show. Really, it's an honor for me to be on here with you and to be, part of this, this list of just stellar dudes, who are really just trying to blend out some pearls of wisdom for, anybody else. We all got struggles with what we're doing. Everybody does, and I feel like, I was watching this, I can't remember who it was, but I was watching this meme that was going by that was talking about men, like when they have a hard time, like men don't really expect help at all. Like for women, you can cry. For children, you can cry and you can get help, and there are people out there who are looking out for you. But just there's a lot of men out there that feel like that there ain't nobody out there. And so they don't cry. They just kind of lace up their boots and go back to work. And this kind of idea, I'm like, I get it, but like, is that actual, And is that the best, the best that we can do as a society is to leave these men feeling, like there's no place for them to go. So, no place that they can go to get help, and just like to pick other guys' brains about certain situations. And so I applaud Gavon for what he's doing here. And like, I'm, behind this movement 100%. A little bit about me. I was born in Hawaii, at Kahuku Hospital, a long time ago when Kahuku had babies over there. And then my family, we moved to California when I was in elementary school. So I did most of my growing up outside of LA, in LA County. Graduated from high school there. Served a 2-year mission for my church in Jamaica. And then moved up to Utah after that, where I got to know most of these guys. And a lot of these guys on the show, like, Nolan was one of my first roommates up there, when I moved up to Utah. The Palmers, I knew the oldest brother, Mario. He introduced me to Scone Cutters, which was the only 24-hour joint, in Utah County back in those days. That was pre-Betos. And, and then, obviously the Kellys, are a staple family up there. They're like one of the pillars in the Polynesian community up there. Uncle Bill, he did so much work, tireless work, to help establish what the Pacific Islanders in Utah County have. And so we're always grateful for them. Yeah, and then even like the San Fongs, like we grew up with those guys. Duke and Wilder is and so Adam and Lyndon. We had Pineapples Island style barbecue with the old man. That's when Adam was trying to win his wife, and and won her he did. So so like a lot of these guys, I relate to the stories because I was in some of these stories, and so so I moved up to Utah. I never finished school. After Utah, I did a year in Hawaii where I started working just at the A+ program after school. elementary, and there's where the rest of my, not the rest. So I did A plus for a little while. Went back to Cali, started producing music, try to do some stuff with Linda and Cryan and a couple other under. We did some underground acts in LA, but nothing ever took off. And then went back up to Utah. I was doing some nonprofit stuff, and then got a job at a disability place. But then I ended up back in Hawaii, and then I got entrepreneurial. Opened up the first VR arcade in the state of Hawaii. VR Junkies was in the Ala Mall, and then a couple years later, we closed the first VR arcade in Hawaii with VR Junkies. We're kind of years before VR was going to be a thing. I feel, and then I was back, working in elementary school. So um, I was working as a part of the autism team with the Windward district, and we're up at La'i Elementary, Huku Elementary, Holo Elementary, and then the intermediate and the high school in Koku. And I was working there. And then, obviously it's quiet. I worked two jobs. So I was also a, a checkout clerk at Foodland, which that job was cool. It's just because it wasn't hard, and I got to see people. It's just you don't normally see in your day to day run ins. But when you work at the grocery store, you see everybody, especially in a tight knit community like Laie, Kahuku, and Hula. So yeah, that job was cool, and so I was working there, and then about a year ago we got the diagnosis. I went in for pneumonia, and they came out. They're like, "That's cancer," and so they gave us 6 months to a year if we were to turn away any treatment. 6 months to a year, maybe 2 years. Um, and so everything screeched. Everything just all of a sudden just hit hard stop on life, everything. And so, because we just had this one thing now that we had to figure out. Um, we went through some treatments. None of it worked. None of the stuff from the hospitals and all the stuff that the doctors were recommending didn't work until they didn't have anything to recommend anymore. And so when you reach that point, it's like, okay, well, what am I going to do? And I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have had these stories, in family members, people that they're very close to. You've heard the stories, but it just hits a little bit different when it's you. And so, we're just like, okay, well, if the doctors don't have anything else, we're going to try this, that, and the other. and so, we have, like, we've been meeting with, herbalists, energy workers, spiritual healers, and, all kinds of stuff that, we thought, maybe a little bit out there. But, at this point, it's like, well, what do we got to lose? Right? It's like, so these things that we might have thought were kooky, you know, a couple of years ago, all of a sudden, like, we're doing them just because, like, you know, we can do that or nothing, and we don't want to do nothing. So, anyway, so yeah, so we're trying all this stuff, and some things are working, and some things are not. But it's just like, you look at life a lot different when you start like trying to put together your own eulogy. You know what I'm saying? And it's just and you see things which and I don't know if the way I'm seeing things now is like, oh, I have the absolute best perspective on everything, but I feel like the perspective I have now was definitely different than the one I had a year ago. And so we can, you know, my wife and I, we talk about this all the time. We can either be burdened by these trials, or we can be hopeful, and we can learn, and we can look for, the Lord's hand in our lives and all these things. And those blessings will be blessings for us, and we just look forward to those, and for any kind of moments that, we can pull things off of, teach our kids, any kind of teaching moments, and, just spend all the time enjoying the time we have left with each other. Uh, but yeah, I mean, since going into this, hardship, I've been able to unretire, my guitar and my microphone.
Yeah.
It's just like take it out the shelf and dust it
Nice.
off a little bit. And so just jamming out with the boys, and my sons are very particular. They don't really like it when I sing, you know. Even when I remind them that I have the voice of an angel, they they throw it right back in my face. They
What?
say Dad, your voice is not like an angel.
That's cold, bro.
No, that's cold. That's cold until I sang "Sweet Child of Mine" on the karaoke. My son, he was just like, he's like, "Can you sing?" Or no, he's like, "Can we listen to "Sweet Child of Mine"?" So I turned on the karaoke version and I started singing it, and he was like, "No, I don't want to hear your voice." Then he stopped and listened, and then as I was just going through it, and I got all the facial expressions and the hand expressions, and I was like, "It's pretty good, huh, son? My voice." And he was like, yeah, on this one, on this song, it's pretty good." And I was like, thanks, buddy.
Bro, they got us videos of your previous performances, man. Like,
Oh man,
performances back in college and stuff. For folks who don't know, I mean, the whole Fonoimoana family, bro, is known for being musicians and singers and very stellar entertainers. And so, yeah, I'm not surprised that Pop still got skills, even though he's dealing with all these health stuff. You still can tear up a microphone, bro.
yeah, in waves, because the cancer I have is lung cancer, and so I can't really breathe, and so it's just taking in waves as it comes, and I'll be missing a few words here and there, maybe some phrases, but just catch my breath and then get ready for the next high note, and just
That's cool, man. It's the remix. That's why. That's what that is.
yeah, right.
Hey, you know what, man? I got to ask you this question. So I remember, Harry Santana is my classmate from high school.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I told you that. And I remember him telling me one time that his companion got stabbed by a knife in Jamaica. And then it
Oh
wasn't until I think maybe 2002, 2003 when I was just talking to you, and it turned
yeah.
out that you were that companion that got stabbed in Jamaica.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was me.
Holy
I
snap.
got stabbed with an ice pick. Yeah. So these guys, I'm not too sure um, what they were doing, but we're riding home. We're riding home. Just after a long day of preaching the gospel, riding home on our bikes. It's 9:30 or whatever at night, and so the streets are pretty dead. And I got these two guys up in front of me that are they're packing each other on a bike. So one's driving, the other one's sitting on handlebars, and they keep looking back at us, at me and my companion. And so then one of them jumps out like he's gonna go take a leak on the street. And so we're just like, so I speed up just to be like, hey, go pee in the bathroom, just say something dumb, as we do sometimes. And he jumps out and he pushes me. But it's just kind of this weird, awkward push. And I looked at him and I stopped my bike and I was like, wait, what just happened? And then he came back and so I hit him in the face. And so he backs up and he's like, what's up, man? What's up? My companion, who's this like, you know, white Hawaiian Chinese guy, he gets up and he starts chasing these guys up and down the street, and he's just yelling all kinds of crazy stuff. And so I was just like, well, that was weird. And so yeah, he was like, I think that guy stabbed you. He's like, I think that guy stabbed you with a screwdriver or something. And I was like, no. And he's like, yeah, look at your shirt. And my shirt sleeve was all bloody in the back. And so we got home and then we just stitched it up, and it wasn't even actually that bad. Didn't need a stitch. We just put um just put a band-aid on it real tight.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, okay.
But yeah, but it wasn't that bad. But you know, when I first got to the island, there's another Hawaiian kid. This fool got stabbed on the shoulder. It's do you know Uncle Bobby Cowell?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so his boy, Kavika, he served Jamaica too. And so this fool, but he is okay, I don't want to say this out loud, but the world is watching. But I'm pretty sure I've told this to before. This is his fault. This fool was packing. He had a knife. And I told him, I was like, dog, you gotta lose your knife, man. And he's like, no, it's for protection. He's like, I'm training a new guy from Idaho.
Wow.
And I was just like, no, lose it. Like, you don't need protection. We got the Lord's hand anyway. So I heard he got stabbed.
Holy smack.
And so I called him up, and he's like, oh yeah, these blue boys that surrounded us. And so I took out my knife and I was like, boom, right there, buddy. That was a problem. So I was like, yep. So anyway.
That's crazy, bro. I mean, can you imagine, like, okay, welcome to a district meeting today. For
Yeah.
missionaries, we're gonna have a scripture study at 10 o'clock, and then at 11 o'clock, we're gonna have Eskrima knife fighting, and then at 12
Yeah.
o'clock, we're gonna have self-defense class. So thank you for coming
Right.
to Jamaica Mission. Have a good day.
Right. That's the thing is like I found through my mission, there were some elders that were just like, they're carrying around brass knuckles and stuff. And I would tell them the same thing. This is the parable of Elder Kawo. I was like, don't you say you don't need that stuff. They're like, well, you got stabbed and you didn't have it. I was like, yeah, but my stab was more like a scratch. Like that was
Wow.
nothing. I just put a band-aid on and it went away after a couple weeks.
Wow. That's
So
crazy.
so yeah, so Santana could have been talking about either or because he was there before me, so he knew Cole
Oh,
pretty good.
nah, that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about action packed, dude. Hey, you're like an action superstar, bro. I haven't to deal with all
No,
that. I
I
got.
know.
Oh, go ahead. What? No, what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say me, like I didn't even know anything. I was just like just talking. My 19-year-old, 20-year-old self, just talking out my butt.
Hey, get in the bedroom.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So,
Oh man. Well, it makes me want to be very careful next time if I ever go to Jamaica. That's for sure. Hey, what was your degree that you got in when you went to college? What was your
so
study?
I got it. Like I wanted to do business, so I was doing a business degree, um, with like a minor in um communications, I think it was. But yeah, but I never finished. I never finished anything really. Like I went to school at UVSC when you were there. I went to school then, for 3 semesters, but sorry, 6 semesters, 3 years. But yeah, I didn't really finish anything at school, and so I was just like, well, I'm tired of wasting time and money, so I'm going to, enter the work sector and try to go that way. And then and so yeah, so I never finished up business, and then I tried to go back to school again during the pandemic, and my emphasis was going to be programming or business analytics. So I was going to learn Python and oh man, it escapes me. The What's the one, the database one?
You
What's the
talking about
name?
like sequel? Talking about sequel?
Sequel. Sequel. I don't know why. It's everybody says it's cancer brain, but
Nah, no worries, man. No, it's
I've
all
been this I've been this brain dead for a long time. So
yes, man. No, hey, bro. I don't know if you know, but I'm actually in the same program as you. Like right now, I signed up for some Python certificates. One is Python and SQL programming, and the other
yeah,
one is it's data visualization and analytics in Python.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So I'm in it too. I'm in it right now, man. Just taking these classes. I mean, I'm going at it at a very slow pace because of family
yeah,
obligations and stuff. But
for
taking
sure.
like a few minutes at a time, 5 minutes a night, kind of thing.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
whatever works.
yeah. But that's cool though. Yeah, no, it's funny that you and your brother got involved in like similar stuff, similar interests with programming and music, and then and the whole thing with business too, bro. I give you credit. I took my son to VR Junkies. I think it was when was it? 2000. I think it was 2018. We went over there, and I can't remember if I told you, but I kind of wanted to go and just surprise you. So we went there on a Saturday,
Uh,
but then the guy said, "Oh, Pop's off today." I'm like, shoot. So we missed you, right? We
yeah.
but no, it was cool though, being able to see all that going on over there. If you
I
were to
know.
talk, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, with that one, with the store, we I've always been entrepreneurial minded, but um I never had like a real business. So I would always look up what it would take, to run a business, what it would take to own it. And so I have these ideas about, okay, there's going to be this and this and this and that. But then, like, once you sign the papers and stuff, and like, everything is up to you. I was like, man, what the heck did I get myself into? It's like, uh, I have no clue what I'm doing, and I'm just kind of like swimming around this back office full of paperwork, and and broken controllers. And
Yeah,
so I was just like, oh man, I would love to get into it again, but just maybe a little bit later.
I've heard that too. From a lot of entrepreneurs, because I don't know if you know this, but Hawaii has the highest entrepreneurial population per capita, right? Because
Really?
yeah, they said in the whole nation, based
Hmm.
based on how many people that live here, we have the most entrepreneurs percentage wise out of every state. Kind of makes sense because it's so expensive, to
Yeah,
live
yeah,
here in Hawaii. So everybody gets side hustle. I don't know of anybody that lives in Hawaii that doesn't have some kind of small side hustle, unless they make it like millions of dollars doing something. But that's
yeah,
usually that's few and far in between, or that's somebody not from here.
yeah. Right.
If you were to talk about like your greatest triumphs, and like what would you say are like some of the greatest or your proudest triumphs that you've been able to do?
Well, I mean, hands down, it's my family. My wife and my two boys. That's an easy one. Those guys. You know, I figured I was going to take the path that everybody else takes. After mission, just come back, go to school, get married, and then have family, graduate, job, blah blah blah. I figured that was going to be my path. And when that wasn't my path, I'm just like, well, I mean, it's cool, whatever. It doesn't have to be exactly that. Just maybe it'll take me a little bit longer. And then it's taking me longer and longer and longer. And so after a while, you start feeling forgotten a little bit, you know? And my family, they were great. Like they tried to include me in as much stuff, as much stuff they can. Like, Sam's my little brother, and he's got, kids that are entering into high school already. You know what I'm saying? And so, and for me, I'm just like, oh, it is what it is. I'm not going to trip, because I got so much other things to look forward to. and that also could be naivete because I really didn't have anything to look forward to. Like I was just trying to live my life the best I could. But yeah, hands down, my family. I was so when I got married, I was excited to get married, but when I had the boys, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be great." You know, I got two boys, and I'm gonna be able to like teach them and kind of mold them into little versions of me. But hopefully, they didn't wait so long to get married. You know, I made more money. But like it's just these two boys I'm gonna get to just kind of hang out with all the time. So when the cancer call came, that was probably that was the hardest for me. It's just like it's just like I feel like I've done my time. I put in the time to wait to get a family. And then almost immediately, like my goal was for last year, 2022, when we started the year, we set a goal to get out of debt. This was my family's goal, to get out of debt so that we can start investing in the future, right? This was my goal. And then, like, a quarter of the way in, we get this ticket that's saying we might want to revisit these goals, And so that was rough. That was a little bit rough of a kind of pill to swallow. And so um, I'm grateful that I had these two boys that didn't know, that doesn't know, they still kind of don't know. And they just cheer me up all day, every day. I just, my older boy, he's going to preschool out here, in Southern Utah. And so like he leaves for a few hours in the middle of the day and he comes back. But my younger boy, like he's usually here with me, and we just like, we watch shows and we play games. And, I try to teach him how to do math and letters and stuff. And, I've had so much time to spend with this family of mine. So yeah, that's been the ups, and that's probably been the biggest down thus far. But hopefully, it's not going to get more worse than that.
Yeah, man. No, seriously. When I saw that social media post about you going through this, having cancer and stuff, I was like, oh crap, bro. We always praying for you, bro. Nolan, I was talking story with Nolan actually last night, and yeah, was talking about you, man. Just reminiscing about back in the days and stuff like that. So it's like, bro, he's still strong. He's still pushing forward, man. He can overcome. Opapo can overcome. Yeah, bro.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Just kind of a light note on this whole cancer stuff. So before I had cancer, I got diabetes a couple years ago. So I've been working on my diet, working on my diet and my exercise. Um, for maybe like 2019 ish. From then, just buckling down on my diet, maybe 18, buckling down my diet and exercising and trying to attack this diabetes problem. Um, and so and now that I have cancer, you know, I'm just like, okay, do we still want to pursue the diabetes stuff, right? Because what's going to kill me first? Cancer and diabetes. And I was like, so does this mean like I'm pretty sure cancer is going to kill me first? So does this mean like I can eat all the cake I want? Does this mean like does this mean I'm going to be welcoming back pies into my life? You know, and so
Oh man.
I told my wife, I was like, no, let's continue on the path. Eat good until until we really feel like, because we're supposed to ask for miracles and expect miracles and stuff, but we also don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot for that miracle. So I'm just like, eat good, eat good, exercise whatever you can, and then if any miracles are going to happen, then they can. But if we're realizing that there's no miracles coming, well, it's time to bust out, all the chocolates and cream,
all,
cheesecake, and
all the stuff you want, man. So you're a sweet tooth guy, huh? You sweet tooth.
oh yeah, yeah. And I think it was bad working at Alamoana Mall,
Oh, dude.
right?
Yeah.
Because you got all the spots, and then freaking Liliha Bakery comes upstairs and Macy's, and I was there the opening morning, the very first morning. I was there at 6 o'clock or 6:45,
Oh yeah.
waiting to get in line. It's because that was my schedule at the store, anyways. So I'm there in the morning, get my pancakes on, and then visit there 2-3 times a week. Get some of the roll things. What are they called?
Like cinnamon rolls? You mean?
No, the ones with the filling in it.
Oh, the Filipino one, the non-ding. Oh, maybe I don't know that. I don't know. I'm not too much of a dessert guy, but yeah, maybe I'm just clueless.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. And so that probably did not help at all. Work at Alamoana.
Yeah, especially on the first floor, and you got Cookie Corner over there,
Yeah,
Cookie Company over there, and then Mrs. Fields over there.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, bro. No, that's rough, man. I gotta thank you big time. Man. We actually, I see the clock over here. It's kind of going down, but no, really appreciate you big time, bro. We love you, bro, and I mean that. Like we, been praying for you and stuff, and yeah. Sorry, I haven't been on Polo that much, bro. I just been so busy with stuff, and I finally caught up. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm like a whole year behind on the video with you and Gaze. But dude, no, I know there's going to be a lot of people that want to know what's going on with you for sure. In fact, there was other people besides Jolene guys. There were some other people that were asking me about you, especially after they saw Sam's video on there. They were kind of saying, "How's Pops?" I was like, "Wow, he seems to be doing pretty good, man." And so I think they'll be grateful to have this video, shared on Facebook. It's okay if I put it on Facebook just to share it. Yeah. Because because you celebrity status, bro. Especially amongst us Polynesians, you celebrity status right now. So
so famous for being famous.
Being famous.
Doesn't really have any skills.
Shut up, bro. Stop it, man.
I miss the DJs. You see, Nolan. Nolan, he had his DJ name, his Don Juan name. So I miss those guys, and then I missed the HD crew. And
oh, bro, that's hilarious, man. Don Juan the dog.
Don Juan the dog.
Oh, man. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
No, seriously, no. Thanks, man, for doing the show, bro. I'll send you the video as soon as I got this thing put together.
Okay.
And thanks to Renee too for allowing me to talk story with you too, bro. This is gonna be good, man. Everybody, a lot of heart. And we pray for
thank you.
Like I said.
Thank you very much.
Mahalo, my man. We'll catch you later. I just gonna.
Yeah.
Okay, take care, man.